Okay, I had not seen that my thing was on mute, bruh. Sorry. But anyways, yeah, thanks for joining, man. We're starting off with C1. So I was saying, we're looking at this trend here, coming from this zone here. We have this downtrend happening here. We broke this minor structure, but we came and respected this, reacted from this supply zone 4. So a safe sell would be price closing below the 13 EMA or price closing below this 4-hour order block. So let me just check the daily, see what bias we have. So I think we're also reacting on the 13 EMA there. So we can potentially be bearish. We also reacting off this daily supply zone. So I think on C300, my bias will remain bearish, dropping to H4. Just marking that supply zone there. Then when we drop to H1 now, we want to see if we've got any candle allowing us to actually sell. So from H1, we still need to wait for the current H1 to close. So once we close bearish here, we're going to look for a potential pattern on the M15. Safe sells. Let's see where we can get our safe sell. So we've got this zone here where the price was pushing up. We just mark it. So this is H1. 31.75 is the price. So we want to mark 31.75. Okay, so when we drop to, let me just check M30. It looks like we have got a sell pattern in motion. We've got a peak broken order block which is being retested, so we could actually get some acceleration here, but our main target is this one, this particular one. So let's see what we have with M15. Peak. Okay, M15 is not so clear because there's like a lot going on. We've got this peak, which is today's highs, and we've got price is actually reacting off yesterday's highs as well. So this was yesterday's highs. So this is the peak. This is the order block. So the first sell happened here. And we could have been targeting the 200 EMA, or we could have been targeting this 31.75 area from H1. Looking at this, we've been pushing down from the time the day started. We've been pushing down. We came up, respected this zone, still respecting this zone. So I'm still looking forward for just a sell. The only thing I'm struggling with now is a proper entry. So what we have, or what I can clearly see on C3 is this area here. We've got this new peak here, and we've got these 3 candles here, 1, 2, 3, which qualify as a zone. But I'm just going to pick this one and see how price reacts on that one. So that could give us this first sell entry. We want to see what reaction we're going to get here. If we get price giving us a nice candle, which we know, or a rejection, then this sell should actually push up. But again, we want to see price close, come below the 200 EMA, maybe retest it and continue pushing down, then break 31.75, retest and continue pushing down. For now, that's my view, but this is not a high probability trade because I still want to see how price acts in this area. I still want to see how price acts if they push up here. If they decide to just drop, I would rather wait for them to come below, then retrace before I take a sell. So that's how I'm looking at it. So it's either they will retrace into this area, point of interest number 1, point of interest number 2, then this area is point of interest number 3. Anything in here might not be so clear, but we'll see how price will be moving. So I'm going to leave this on H1 so that we see how H1 closes, and we'll still anticipate a tiny retracement if we do close strong bearish. But once we come below 31.75, I'm seeing this price dropping all the way to 2,900. So that's my view for C3 for now. Then going to C500. C500, we missed it yesterday. I remember we were active on it and we decided to close because we were anticipating or we're seeing price potentially pushing up. But if you notice, this zone held strong. Price kept rejecting here for 4 straight hours, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then after that, we started pushing down with momentum. We closed below our zone, like the one we have on C300, and there was a continuous drop with no retracement. So it's either we could have caught it here where we had our entries, or we could have missed it totally because there was no retracement at all. So let me see M15. Okay, so if you notice, I think I'm not sure if we marked this particular area while we were in Zoom or after the Zoom, but if you notice, they eventually broke, then retested with a nice pin bar on M15. That's what started the sell. So if we had seen this, we could have sold, taken profit on the previous day's low, which was then broken and retested. Maybe we could have entered it here. Also because there was an order block there, a break and a retest. So from M15, there was some entries, but I think since we were done for the day, that's why we didn't really chase on this one. So looking at it today, I feel like we're still bearish. Still bearish, even though we are on this daily demand zone, which could see price pushing up. The fact that we came with some momentum here makes me think that we can continue pushing down all the way to take out this liquidity before this price eventually reverses. So anyone who bought in here, swing traders who are buying, they have their stop losses here, right? So price can potentially come down, take them out, tap into liquidity here before they reverse. So I would say I still have a selling bias. Going to H4, we need a retracement. So from H4, we've got a peak, strong push down, retracement, push down, and price is slowing down here, which could give us another retracement, potential continuation. The candle which I see of interest is this one. So I'm going to use that as a potential point of interest. That is on H4. And we also have this area which we took off from yesterday. So I've got this, I've got this. So let me mark those two zones there. So if price gets into this 4-hour candle here, which is also on the 13 EMA, once we get something here, I think this will be a good area to actually sell from. We'll see. We need a nameable candle here, then we can sell. Then the next point of interest would be this red line here on H4. So let me zoom in so that it can be a bit clear. So this price line is around 3360, 3360. That's a point of interest, though, even though it's not high probability, we can get price respecting it because we also have the 200 EMA, we also have 50 EMA. So if we break this zone, we look for a potential reaction here, which is also in line with this supply zone here. So we'll see if we can retrace all the way up there. So dropping down to H1, that reaction which we are looking for might happen around the 50 EMA. So there's a lot of confluences lining up. So you can see that H4 zone is this zone here where we've got price slowing down here yesterday. So this is a high probability area basically. So from 33, from 33.18, maybe 33.20, let's say 33.18 to 33.50. So 3318 to 3350. That's a point of interest. If price reacts here and starts rejecting, We simply drop down to M15 and we look for a pattern. That's where we're going to execute from. But if price comes up with momentum and continues pushing up, then maybe they might be coming to this area, or it could be a new trend forming. So we just have to see how the candles will be forming as the day progresses. TDI is below the 50. So it looks like we're still in a downtrend. That's why I'm still maintaining that bias. So if price can also come to the 50 static here, and here it comes to the 50 level into the 4-hour supply, then we should be looking for a sell. So that's my current view on C3. C1, I was looking at it just now. I thought of entering, but I didn't enter it. I wanted to get some more confluence. So let's see what we have here. So it looks like we could actually sell here. I don't know what you see in C1, bro, because if you notice, we had this push down, right? Then price sort of consolidated and retraced for the past 4, 8, 12, 16. It's almost a day, almost 24 hours. So we could get this price pushing down. Let me look for confluences here. Okay, let's have one sell entry with a small lot size there. Let me just check the stop loss. The stop loss would have to be just above the current M15. So it's a 13 pip stop loss on that particular setup. So for now, it's not yet high probability, but let's just have one runner in case it decides to move. So I'm just going to execute that trade on my phone. Okay, so we've got one runner on C1000. Okay, my reasoning for this trade is these highs have been taken out by this small push up, and we have like an M pattern here, a nice pin bar which took out this liquidity. So I feel the high of the day has been set. That's the first thing. The second thing is this level has been broken, which is the order block. So it's a peak and an order block. Even though it doesn't look like this order block was retested, let's just confirm it. Okay, it was actually touched. There was a touch here. The retest, equal lows here. Looks like it could be a continuation pattern, but again, we can get a small retracement maybe into this area. So let me check M30. Okay, then we mark yesterday's lows. Daily is bearish. If you notice, daily, we're coming from this rejection, push down, pull back, looking for a possible continuation. So I think I'll stick with the bearish trend there for now. So if you drop to M5 now, where can this price retrace to on M5? Let's see, maybe somewhere here. So again, this is a short-term trade. I'm not really sure what these guys want to do, because the thing is, I see a moving average closer here. If this pattern had formed right on the moving average, then I would be confident with the trade. But the fact that the moving average is closed, this high can be extended. Then a new pattern forms, then the price drops. So that's also a possibility, which is the reason why we only have one trade here. They can retrade if this price action decides to push down. They can retrace to 58.42. Okay, so just mark 58.42 as a possible place where we can have a sell limit there for a continuation push down. Then I'm anticipating price to at least get to the previous day's low. Then after that, we're going to see whether it will continue or we take profit here. So it's a short-term trade. Not expecting many pips yet. It's only 10 pips going to yesterday's low. And from 58.42, it will be about 17 pips, 20 pips if it gets to 58.22. So let's see, 58.22. So it's just a small risk trade. This one we don't want to risk much. But if we retrace here and we reject this, I might add one more position here because it will be clear that price wants to come and take out yesterday's lows. Then maybe we might get another retracement and they continue down. This will be seen. If you notice yesterday, we had this particular setup. So remember, we're coming from this level and we're waiting for a safe entry here. We broke, we retested, we entered, and we were anticipating a break of this level and a retest, which actually happened, and price continued melting. So we only caught a small piece of the pie and price continued selling. So it could also happen today that we break the previous day's lows, retest, and continue pushing down. That's a possibility. And let me see where this low is lying, because that could also be a TP, but it looks like it's right on the same low as yesterday, 58.22. 8.22. So it's just below yesterday's low. So I'll actually remove yesterday's lows. So our target is 58.22 for now. If we can retrace to 58.42 and price spikes from there, I think we can add one more position and see if we can get to 58.22. After that, I anticipate, so I'm anticipating something like this. So either they will come here, then drop, or they will react here, then drop, then push back up again, then drop, also possible. But for now, let's just target this area from here to here. That's the only setup which I'm confident with at the moment. So the rest we'll see, because higher time frames, it looks like we could actually drop. We could actually drop all the way to 5400. So if you notice now from a higher time frame, I've got some weekly zones marked. So if we are to really like sell, we will get all the way to 5400. Because if you notice again from the weekly, from this peak, we broke an order block and we started selling. We came back into a zone. Then these lows here have been broken by these spikes. So that's liquidity taken in the retracement. So we're looking for continuation to the downside. Price is already retraced because this weekly candle has got a week here. So I think we could actually get a good sell to the downside. Weekly candle closes tomorrow night. So I don't know. Let's just stoke on this one because they could actually drop all the way, maybe not to 5400, but at least they'll give like a good sell here. But we'll see how they play out. So I'm still anticipating them to come take out this liquidity here on 5400. That's my current view. So we'll see how they play out daily. So from the daily, you can see. So I feel like if we can break this zone here, if we can break that zone on 58.22, this price will actually continue melting down because we pushed down, we retraced, we need another push at least, or possibly we could get another push. So yeah, let's hold on to that one and see how they play out. So I'm going to come back here and wait to see if we'll respect this. But remember, if we come above this this level here, we're going to cut loss and wait because they might be coming to extend the high before the sell we want actually happens. So let's just see what happens with that runner we have. Going to B5. B5, I marked it earlier. I was trying to clear out my chart and see what we have. And I know B5, we marked it from here, bro. We marked it from here. I was following this price all the way here, and I was thinking if I had caught here, caught this trade here and held, could have been a nice swing trade. But yeah, we'll see. Eventually we'll become swing traders. But yeah, so from this zone on the bottom, it was a demand zone. Price respected it nicely. Huge bullish engulfing. They left another demand zone which was not retested. And it seems like that momentum is pushing up because we're trading above the 13 EMA on the daily. We've already had like a stop hunt there, so I'm just looking for possible continuation buys. So let's see what we have on H4. H4, that daily demand, this one here, the new one on top, this one here is the zone you see on H4 right here. So I thought maybe price could still retrace into this area. It's also possible because we've got a 1350 cross, but we do not have a 50 EMA retest. So they can still come down here, then push up. That's possible. Then if we drop down to H1 for today's price action, if you look at it from today, this is the reason I hate trading B500. You can see even if you're correct in the buy, price will push up, then they will come back. Even if you buy here, they'll push up, they'll come back to entry, maybe take you out. Even if you buy here, they'll push up, then still come back to entry. It happens. Happened yesterday when we took that buy also, and I was regretting not closing. But eventually it played out. So yesterday, let's see, we started buying it here. Right after we came above here, then they retraced a bit, pushed up, and I think we had a gap somewhere in here. That when I saw that gap, it made me confident with scaling in. And I remember we mentioned price getting to 49.30, but the way they were moving here made me doubt it. So I think I ended up closing it at 49.25 somewhere. So I think I closed out somewhere here after the gap. So let me also go to that gap and explain it a bit. Let's see. Okay, there it is. The 8th. Okay, so we were in this trade. Then I saw this gap. Soon as I saw this gap, I wanted to scale in here, but I couldn't scale in, and I was like, you know what? When I wanted to scale in, it spiked. Right. Then they started retracing. So here, I think, let me see, what is this the exact point? Because I remember I held and they started retracing and I started regretting. Let me just mark it on M15 so that I don't get it wrong. Okay, I think it was somewhere in here. The 8th. Okay, yeah, it was in this area here. Okay, I got it correct now. So what happened is I saw the gap. Then before I could scale in, as I was marking up our gap strategy here, because remember with the gap strategy, what we do is we run up the fib, ne? Put the fib, and when we get to 50 or 61.8, that's where we actually scale in. So they didn't get there. Then they started pushing down. When they were pushing down, I was still in the trade here. Then let me see if I close here. Then they pushed up here. I think this is where you closed. I'm not quite sure. I think you closed here. Then I remember I held. Then this pullback here is what made me regret because I was like, you know what, this price is coming back to my entries because the entries were, I think, were somewhere here. And I think I scaled in again. But eventually they moved. Then I closed out at 49.25, which was somewhere here. So in the long run, it played out. But the way B5 moves, sometimes I regret actually trading it. But anyways, looking at it today, I'm still looking to be bullish. So where can we potentially buy from? If I'm looking at M15, which is the best time frame I can use, I would say maybe they can respect the previous day's high. But if you notice from this push up here, they could have respected it here, but they still came all the way down to the 50 EMA. So we've got the first interaction, second interaction. We can potentially get a third interaction here and we can have a buy. So I would say our point of interest can be around 49, 49, 48. So let's start with 49.50. Once the price gets to 49.50, we can start waiting for it to reject. Once we get a confirmation that they actually want to reject and push up, we are going to buy. So what I've noticed also from the way they were moving from midnight is they are not just touching and pushing up, they are actually playing around the zone for some time. So here they came, rejected, gave a bullish candle, another bullish candle. So it's 15, 15, 15, 45 minutes before the push happened. They came back again here, gave a bullish candle. Then they played on the zone for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 hour, 30 minutes. So we came from 45 minutes to 1 hour 30. So if they come here, I'm not sure if they will just like touch and push. I would rather wait to get a 15-minute candle close, get a confirming bullish candle, then we can buy, then we wait for them to shift the zone like this. That will be the best setup on B5. So when they get to 49.50 point of interest, then they can also get to the 50 EMA. So the next zone which they can get into would be, let's see, if they can get into this area, that will also be cool. So from 49.50 all the way to 49.40, that's our zone today. If they respect this zone, we're going to get a buy. This will also be a flip zone buy for the continuation up. So that's how I'm looking at B5 now. So point of interest for 950 to 49.40. That's my point of interest there. So wait and see how they play out. C5 is approaching the zone, so let's see if they also reject it there. B1000 yesterday, it refused to actually pay us because we didn't really catch a good entry. But if you notice later on, they literally reversed into a zone which we had marked. So if we were following it, we could have traded here. We could have taken a buy either here or here. And again, we had, so if this was the peak, a safe entry buy would have been in this area. So we could have waited for the break. Then as price was retracing, this would definitely would have tempted me to start buying these two candles here, but there was no follow through. So stop loss would have been hit. Then we looked to our left to see what else they could use. So we also had this order block here, right? So if you notice, they came into the order block, then they started pushing up slowly, slowly, slowly. Coming into today where they then accelerated. So this high here was broken, retested. So today, what are we looking forward on, to on B1? I'm still bullish. As you can see, I'm still anticipating them to come all the way up here. And again, this setup, I think was talking it from the time it was here. They came down. We're looking at this. So now they're pushing up. When all we need to do is look for entries. So right now, it looks like they're rejecting off this zone, but I don't think this zone is strong. I don't think this zone is strong at all. So let me just remove it actually and wait for them to push up. So the target, yesterday I was targeting 14,300 for the setup we had, 14,300. So I still feel like they can still push up to 14,300 today. So if we manage to catch a buy, we should try and hold this. So from the 4 hour, what zone do we have? 4 hour, we've got this zone here. All these small candles there. That's my point of interest there. So I'm going to mark it. Then we drop down to a smaller time frame. Let me just use this whole zone here. like this. Then we drop down to H1. So this zone is falling on the previous day's high. We also have like an H1 zone within the 4-hour zone. So we're going to mark that zone as well. Like this. So this is our point of interest for today. So it's either they'll react off top right on the previous day's high, which is here, or they'll get into this zone here, which is also near the 50 EMA. So we'll see if they can come down here, then we can take a trade. But at the same time, they might react off top right on the 13 EMA, then they can push up. If they do that, we might miss if we fail to see a pattern. So let me see what we have on M15. Okay, they've already moved from the time the day opened up until the high. They moved 200 pips. That's such a huge distance. So at the same time, these points of interest we have, it's not really a high probability until a new pattern forms. So what I want to see is price come into this area, then push, maybe retest again, create a W, then break, then create something like this. If we can get a pattern like this, I can consider a buy. But as long as they tap into it and start rejecting, we can just have one position and see if that position push up. Because sometimes they might just reject, then continue pushing down all the way to the 200 EMA, which is also possible. So we just need to trade it with caution. But the first point of interest would be 14,062. So 14,062. That's the first point of interest, which is right at the top of the 4-hour demand zone. Then the next zone will be 14,052. So that's 10 pips below that area, which is now the 1-hour zone. Then if we can get a reaction on any of these points, I think we can buy if the pattern confirms. But they can still continue coming down. They can even come and take out today's lows. Then the buy pattern will form again. So we just have to keep an eye on this one and see how it plays out. Then let me check C5, C1. Okay, we'll see. Then J10, I noticed they came up 4-hour, they came and tapped this. So this one, I'm not really sure what they want to do because it looks like they're in this range. We're trading within the range. So the best setup will be up here or down here. This is a demand zone, so we could see them start to push up. So I don't think I'll trade this, but this is just like general overview. I'd love to see them break above this area or respect it, then sell. So I'm looking for them to do this and drop, or they can actually break it and push up. If they come below the zone, then we definitely look for sells and target this area here. So that's just like a general view. V2501S, I wanted to ask the guys in the group if somebody caught it, because this was a perfect trade. They came all the way into the zone we spoke about and they touched it. So as soon as they closed here, we simply had to drop to H1, look for the candlesticks to confirm that we're actually reversing. So as you can see, we had doji, we had this hanging man there, bearish engulfing. Then if we drop to M15, the pattern then completed. We had a nice, this was the last order block. We broke it, we came back up and we retested this order block there. We still came back down and broke this and respected the same order block with the pin bar. So any entries from here, here, or here would have been good. The safest entry would have been a close below this zone, which we got in the retest with the bearish engulfing and the pin bar. So entry here and here would also have been good, and price dropped all the way to the day's low. So that was a good setup. So today, today, let's see what they're doing. So today, let me check daily. Okay, there's some funny price action on the daily there. The daily looks like it wants to push up, but at the same time, I'm still looking at this zone. Remember, I think we say safe sells soon as we close below 53,770. This price will definitely come to 14,690. So that's still the view there. If you are looking at it from the daily, if we are looking at it from H4, it looks like they might want to come up. But again, soon as they come below this red line here, I'll be looking forward for sales all the way to this area. Then soon as we break that area, we're looking for a long-term sell now. So for us to sell this today, let's rather wait for them to break the zone. Then we can look for an entry. Rounding this up, I think there's only like a minute left in this session. So on H1, that will be yesterday's lows. So we want to see price come and close below yesterday's lows. Then we want to look for a retracement. Then we're going to sell. Anything going up, I don't have a setup for it. I don't have a buy bias for now. So I think that's it for today. For now, we'll just see if C1 will take us out. Stop loss is above this sell candle, which is on 58, 58.48. That will be the stop loss. So I think that's all for today. We'll still communicate on WhatsApp and I'll still send the signals on Telegram if I get some. So I think that's it for today. Hope we have a peaceful day to close the week. C3 looks like it's also going to sell. So we'll talk about this one on WhatsApp just now. So yeah, thanks for joining, bro. Have a good one. Good trading.